I started off par, which is not what you want to do out here because the back nine is where you want to score. So that was tough, but I knew I felt good the whole round, so I was able to turn that into some birdies.
I had a birdie putt, I think, on 16 out of the 18 holes besides the 2. I barely threw it OB, so going the disc really well.
Definitely left some out there, but I was able to find a good rhythm, and what I kind of corrected on yesterday's mistakes was able to take advantage of all the par 4s and not put myself in much danger.
Just gonna stay solid, not be focused on a one-on-one battle by any means. Just try to keep getting birdies and avoid the big trouble.
Try to take better advantage of some of the easier par 4s and be a little bit more deliberate, lay up when I'm supposed to, and just gradually climb my way up the leaderboard.
Just get more birdies, put myself in better position to birdie, and make more putts. Just those 25 footers, they gotta go in.
Hello and welcome to Round 3 coverage from the 2023 Las Vegas Challenge. You're watching JomezPro, the DGPT specifically, and I am Nate Sexton. That's Jeremy Koling, and that's Paul Ulibarri.
It is moving day here in Sin City, and we have some amazing storylines that are going to be developing over these next 2 rounds. Does the young Anthony Barela really finally break through and get that big win? Do we have a new winner on tour with Scott Withers? Does Eagle continue the trend of year in, year out with winning this tournament? And Kevin Jones, can he return to the winner's circle? I mean, he has shown so much consistency with being right there at the end throughout the years. It is going to be an exciting day. The temperature is nice. It's a lot warmer than the last 2 rounds, and the wind is somewhat between the calm rounds that we saw in round 2 and the very gusty heavy wind that we saw in round 1. Taking a look at these stats here from our league card. So exciting to see Eagle McMahon back on the league card after taking the most of the 2022 season off, yet still somehow snuck in a major win. And Scott Withers once again remaining on the league card here at this season beginning event. It's gonna be good stuff, guys.
Hole 1, par 3, 390, right to left crosswind. Might be calm right now. We'll see here in a second. Not a lot of danger. Just hit the gap off the tee and then slow your disc down. You see a lot of people pushing to the backside of this green. Probably the easiest green to putt on in the whole tournament, though.
In calm conditions, I feel like a nice advantage to people who are able to go mid-range here and just keep the disc straight. Yeah. Anthony has a whole nother game plan because he can do the thing that you need even more power than the mid-range for is to just go spike hyzer to 50 long.
So many of the courses that we play throughout the year, even on the golf courses, that comes down with that much angle, that much velocity, and it just sticks relatively close. But these hard-packed grounds and slick grass, it really promotes extra movement once it hits the ground.
Absolutely.
See if Kevin's able to put the brakes on with this hyzer. Yeah, very similar, but a little bit more up the hill. Maybe it's a bit softer up there.
Looks like Eagle's going to take the straight-on approach.
Is that a putter?
Some sort of putter.
And not even thrown high. You can just go low putter.
And with the ground play that you're going to get the slide, I mean, why not?
Wow.
Is that a
I mean, that's 400 feet, and it on low hyzer.
Yeah, very, very low.
It looked blunt to me. That's incredible.
And Scott going to round out the card with another big hyzer. This is going to finish left. But look at the brakes there. Wow.
Man, they're making that look easy.
AB from long range. He didn't have many of these putts in round 2. He was just driving the disc incredibly accurate and just had a bunch of C1 looks the whole day. Little bit of a head breeze here for Eagle and a perfect stroke right into the center of the basket.
I wouldn't call this a park job by any stretch, but this is really close for how much hyzer he put on that disc. Good result, can't capitalize though.
Yeah, Scott got here with just consistent play across the board, backhands, forehands, and making good putts. Gonna need to stay sharp on the putting green, as always, as you just need to do on the Disc Golf Pro Tour. But you miss those short ones, it bites, especially on the opening hole with the leader taking a par.
Looking at hole 2, par 4, 649, and all I can really think about is the highlight of Eagle McMahon putting it to 50 and then making the putt in round 1. So I've been looking forward to this since yesterday when I heard that Eagle McMahon would be on our coverage. I doubt he can repeat it, but I bet he'll try.
Yeah.
And I just am excited to see how far this disc is going to fly.
Yeah, if he does it again, I won't be surprised, but I will be impressed.
I'll be surprised.
Doesn't appear to have enough flip.
Didn't get the turn this time, but he's not short of big distance.
Yeah, man, that's hitting a tree with a ton of speed that I feel really happy to even reach.
He's going to be, I think he should be able to do like a very soft swing or maybe even a jump putt to the pin. It really depends on what kind of trees are going to be in his way. Anthony, does he get this thing moving right? If that moves right, it's just way, way down there.
He gets through that pine.
Yep.
Yeah, that's the worst thing. That's the worst hazard on the hole,
Yeah.
I feel like. If you can get past that or left or right of it, you've got options.
Look at Kevin forcing the issue with that flippy disc, putting so much hyzer on it, letting the disc just stand up the whole way. He has a different attack to those long-range drives.
I'm surprised these guys don't try to go into the fairway on the left. If you go to the left of this fairway over that hill,
Yeah, way
it's
more
a
open.
wide open.
And it's completely
Pick your
in bounds.
choice.
It's the same
Yeah.
fairway as hole 16 that we'll get to later on, but there's nothing separating those two holes. There's no OB line.
Yeah, it feels like an AB or an Eagle potential play if you were to go like 500-foot high stall.
Yeah.
Actually, I kind of like that idea. I might try to
Yeah, look to the right.
implement that. Yeah, you're right. There's so many trees on this immediate left side of the fairway, but if you go way left, there's really not much at all in the way. And Scott connecting in that one tree. That's going to be about a 25-foot putt.
Wow, this is still really just close.
But he does have to do a little half throw.
Oh, no.
Oh, boy.
Yeah,
Oh, don't mess that up.
I think half is way too big a fraction.
Yeah, that's fair.
Jump putt? No.
Not even a jump.
Yeah, don't need it.
Kind of like hole 9 yesterday at Innova, just standstill delivery. Making these medium length par 4s just a piece of cake. And if Kevin's up first, that means that Scott's just a bit closer. Take that 25 and let's call it 22.
Little awkward bugger here with the branch right above him. Oh, no. Looks like he got in front of it.
Opportunity for some redemption after the missed putt on 1. And
Oh,
no.
boy.
Oh, boy. Now the redemption is for 1 and 2 and a lot farther and a lot scarier now because a miss can go down the hill. And boy,
Wow,
that is
great
just a,
putt.
if you're in the Scott Withers camp, you love to see that. But, man, that is a tough score to be at through two holes, playing them essentially perfectly to be even par.
That was an impressive putt to me.
And impressive to get out of the way of the disc. I mean, it just kept coming at him, and he was not ready to get out of the way.
Well, I mean, to miss low on the first one, then to miss high, and then to have a tougher putt than both of them and make that.
Right.
Take some moxie.
He's an athlete. Scott plays a lot of softball to this day, and I get the impression he hits dingers. I'll tell you that
Yeah,
much.
he's a dinger hitter for sure.
Definitely. Hole 3, par 3, R3F9 going uphill a little bit. That cart path is OB on the right side eventually. Where you have to cross it straight away, obviously, is not out of bounds. Just a nice high, wide shot here. That's wide and high.
This was a much tougher get in round one when that crosswind was blowing pretty severely from right to left. Calmer wind, you can see that flag's not doing too much up there, so Eagle would like to be closer, certainly, in these calmer conditions.
Now, the worry is, do you throw it too far?
Oh, and that is very close to finding that one spot that's OB on the sidewalk, but it's going to be another missed shot there for AB as far as on the easy side of the par threes. Kevin, this is going to be tighter. This is nice.
Get past that palm.
Okay, so a little bit inside, but
yeah.
He's going to get away with that. Scott would love to see a park job right now. Don't even want to think about putting, but he's not going to get a park job, but he could get lucky through these palms.
Not bad.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, Kevin pured it to there, and
AB another circle 2 look, and that
Wow.
was very off. Almost makes me question how much of a 100% bid that was.
I have to think it was, hey, Scott is awake now.
All right.
Again, the mental strength after two really short misses, then to go back-to-back bigger putts. Love it.
yeah, you can see the flag just not even moving right here.
Oh, okay. I'm not used to seeing that from Eagle from inside 50. You know, he's usually pretty good from that range.
It's this place, man. I mean, the footing's kind of slick. You're on the side hill. You don't know if the wind really is down because of the fluctuation. I mean, there's so many things that go into the mental thought process to find like a working swing thought.
For the average disc golfer.
He is way above average.
Yeah, exactly. Exactly.
You think? Yeah, he is. I guess if you run the
Imagine just
numbers,
being in hibernation for most of the year and just going to Europe and putting up that performance that he did with Macbeth. That was just one of the most iconic majors in recent memory.
This looks perfect. Off the basket. Now it's rolling. It's headed for the OB. This needs to sit. Oh my goodness. It's safe. Right on the line. She's going to have about a 30-foot putt for the win. Okay, here we go. The putt is up. Boom, it's in. Strong side with authority. What an incredible moment. Yes.
hole 4, par 3, 300 straight away. You got a bunker early, then golf green, and then this sneaky bunker at the end that you can't see from the tee. Players go with either the forehand out wide or the backhand straight at it. You'd love to just hit that hillside and slide up to the top. Backside drops away quickly. Ooh, that got a weird little twist out of his hand.
Yeah, that's going to be a forced layup. Even if it was open, the ceiling there is just completely blocked. And this is going to be moving way right if it gets out of the bunker. It does, and I think he may have even got a fortunate nestle. It really depends on the action that it has on that hillside.
It's always a nice little surprise.
It really is.
When you get up there to try to see where your disc is.
It looked like it was going on a roller derby.
Yeah, it did have a little bit extra energy as it came in. That probably won't roll. It rolled.
Yeah, there it is. You can see the backside
It
by that.
ripped out of there.
Very hard to put the brakes on this green, especially with the tailwind these players have right now. AB going a little higher with the Luna, and look at this thing. This thing is moving. Nothing stopping it. This is going to be tough for anyone to find the birdie uphill on this mound with this wind right now. This is a very difficult get. Looks like AB might be looking at a air bounce. What an effort.
Wow.
Wow, that takes a lot of touch and just perfect angle control, almost connecting on a huge bonus putt. Scott, this is another very low ceiling. Wow, that's almost identical to AB's miss. And is Eagle gonna make it 3 for 3? He looks like he's lining it up.
Pretty good effort.
Yeah.
Very decent, yeah. And each one of them left side, but the height was nearly right on all three. Kevin, after his layup, he is left with this tap in. Not really a tap in, I guess. Just far enough away to make you think about it.
Bunch of pars. What's it playing as?
It's right in the middle. It's the 10th most difficult. It's just it averages below par, but I mean, it's actually kind of got a 39% birdie, 47% par, and a couple of big numbers in there as well. This is a hard hole. Hole 5 is the hardest hole in the course, 3.25 average, and that's because it's 470 feet and it's protected by a bunch of green OB on center of the fairway, OB left, and it's just a very much a difficult decision. Are you going to go for it or are you going to lay up?
Yeah, and then just one of the nastiest greens too, with the slope down to OB. So even if you do clear, your reward is simply an opportunity, and that can go one of two ways. You could make the birdie, but you can also really get yourself into trouble running this putt.
Don't see too many park jobs on hole 5.
I'm a little worried about this.
Yeah, it's going for it, but oh no, he's not.
Disappeared.
Wow.
I think he threw a mid-range.
Yeah, but it looked like it was going too fast for a second, but he knows what he's doing. Perfect layup in the end.
It's 386 to the green from the tee.
Wow,
Okay.
look at how much Anheuser that just held for so long.
This is the problem, though. Like,
Oh, just
these guys
boy, it's
have
so
to put on the
close.
brakes, too,
Yes.
because once it hits the green, it just keeps going.
Such a beautiful effort. It just cannot stop in time, and he's going to have a very difficult task of making a birdie putt from down there. And AB also bringing the heat, holding that same Anheuser line. This needs to get on the ground quick.
No.
You don't like how it gets that Heiser edge right at the end and finds a little gopher hole over there, and that's going to be out of bounds.
Yeah, I feel like maybe
It was a hole in one. I mean, give him credit.
fairway drivers for those guys in these conditions might be what they're thinking now.
I think for sure.
470 fairway driver. Wow. Yeah.
I mean, I have no doubt that the Eags could hit a mid-range.
Oh, yeah,
and
for
get
sure.
there.
That's crazy to think, but yeah, I think you're right, especially with the ground play that you're going to get. AB 4 par. Just has to lay that one up, and that's the first bogey we've seen him take in quite some time. I don't even know if he had a bogey in round 1. That could be the first of the tournament.
Some good want on that one. A little chicken chunk.
Now explain to the people at home what chicken
I know what
chunk.
it is, of course, but explain to other people.
I do too. I mean, obviously, I know what you mean, but maybe you could just let the people at home know what a chicken chunk is.
Yeah, a little meat left on the bone.
I see. Yeah.
Yes, of course. So AB did bogey hole 2 of the first round, but it's been a pretty long stretch of bogey-free golf since then.
Do you not think that people know what a chicken chunk is?
Well, I do.
No, of course
That's
we
what I'm
know.
trying to say is I know what it is.
But do you think there's people out there that are like, what's a chicken chunk?
Well, they know now.
I hope not. I really hope not for their sake. Hole 6, par 4, 759 feet. This one moves right the whole way. OB on the left side and OB on the extreme right side, but you don't really see that come into play. What you do see on the right side is some tough rough that people will get into if they try to overturn the disc a little bit. Usually sets up a fairly simple approach, just that one guardian tree, and then some tricky putting again because the basket is up on that little mound.
in practice, or in theory, this hole doesn't seem that difficult for the upper level players. But in practice, I feel like it doesn't really it doesn't yield those easy birdies the way I think it should.
Yeah.
How did it play the first round? Oh, we talked about it. It was
Oh, wow. Look at the
that's
ground play for
nice.
Scott. My gosh, that's another 75 feet of ground play.
It was not as easy as I thought it would. I feel like this is
Yes.
one of the more easy holes.
And it always plays harder than what you might think. It still is the 7th easiest, I believe. So it's just near the middle.
Oh, lovely.
Yep.
Saved from going out of bounds there.
And if that like gets past that tree and hits the sidewalk and goes into the yard, that is no longer Eagle McMahon's disc. You
Yeah.
are not allowed to retrieve anything that goes into the property of this neighborhood.
Yeah, they are very serious about that here.
You will be, can it come back in bounds? No.
Horrible mistake. You can turn that thing over so far to the
Yes.
right.
AB could get himself in C2, I feel like.
Yeah,
you know?
totally.
Yeah, he certainly could. Or he could, if he really wanted to, he could throw a simple forehand off the tee.
Yeah.
And be in fine position for birdie.
So in danger of going back-to-back bogeys, but he's put himself back in par range. That's a great approach.
Yep. I like it.
Yeah, I like the idea of taking the speed off with.
Oh, but then
the
Not,
little
it didn't
surf.
yeah, that was a bummer. That's what we call a chunky chicken.
That's right. Yeah, this is the width you like. Out of your hand, you're like, yes, 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 okay. And then
But this
What?
not hitting the top of the hill and catching that downslope perfectly cost him another 20 feet.
Yes, it did.
I mean, the fact that the Memorial is no longer a course that we play on tour, that really makes this the only place that we get this icy grass ground play on tour. So it's to start the season off too. So it really is a strange thing to come from different places around the country and then just know how to predict what kind of ground play you're going to get.
Big drive from Scotty.
And big time
that's
disappointment
not
on the
good.
approach. No good.
Pine tree might be in his way there as well. It sure is.
Man, that is one that he's going to be scratching his head about. It doesn't make the putt, and he's got a little bit of work left to do for the par now.
Nice flag. Slows Eagles' miss down a little bit.
And AB does indeed save the par, so we've seen a few good saves, good scrambles for AB over the last couple of rounds. That's what he's going to need to do that if he wants to be the champion of this event. When your back's up against the wall, he's seemed to deliver. And we're going to see 3 pars and the lone birdie from Kevin Jones, who is now tied with Anthony Barela at the top at 20 under par. And we're going to get a check-in right now. Look at Drew Gibson, 12 under currently, just out there putting down a round, putting himself in the mix of this event.
So
one
many-
way to defend your title right there. Just get
Yeah.
12 out of the first 16. Deal.
So many players right there. Tie at 20, but then there was 4 or 5 19s.
Yep, it's a tight one. It always is out here. Seems like maybe in the last half of the final round, you usually have 2 or 3 guys that kind of pull ahead. But these first 3 rounds, I mean, they call it moving day for a reason. But usually it's a pretty thick clump of players. If that's how to put the words together, right? That doesn't
Chunky
seem right.
chicken.
There's a bunch of chunky chickens all over the place, to be honest with you.
I'm not confident you guys are using that term
I
correctly.
don't even know what it
I
means.
think the first time I used it, I was just making it silly.
Kevin Jones going high forehand. Oh my gosh. Watch out basket. Hadn't seen really anyone try that. It's very awkward with the low ceiling right off the tee, forcing an overstable disc with Anheuser, which is just going to crash down right there.
Wow, that was close.
Great shot for Kevin. And this is a very common mistake.
Oh, that's so fortunate.
You want to push that hyzer out wide at that width, but it just can't stand up. And that time, Scott didn't have the right disc selection.
This is going to work out well.
Yes. That time, the intentional skip does work in Eagle's favor. And this is early on Anthony's attempt, and that's going to put him in par position, which potentially gives Kevin a chance to take the outright lead. And he will have a putt for that lead. Scott, a very slow start, as well as Anthony. And if Kevin makes this here, he'll be 4 down through 7, and indeed he does. And not a slow start, a very good one indeed, and now he is in first place. And Eagle getting his first birdie in the last 5 holes.
And he's lurking in the shadows over there.
When he's in an event, he's a lurker for sure. If he's not outright in the sun, he's somewhere close by. It's good to see him back in competition this season. It felt like we were just missing a key part of the tour. And I really thank him. I got 32nd place on tour, and because he was out, I didn't get 33rd. So thank you very much for taking the season off.
He still beat me.
Hole 8, par 3, 402, OB cart path, long and left, OB green, short and right.
And I think these guys are going to still have that moderate tailwind. It's going to be interesting to see what discs they choose, because fairway driver would probably be the play for most conditions, but Kevin Jones.
Nice shot
He is on
there.
a roll right now. But mid-range can get there for all of these guys, but you got to be careful about that big green in between the tee and the basket.
This thing just likes to scoot.
What a hovercraft. That was cool. Looks like Scott does go fairway of some type.
Oh, this isn't good.
Oh, man. Once it started to turn about 3/4 of the way through the flight, that really that was the end of it.
Yeah, activates the sticky green effect. If you're not on that edge, that disc will stop very quickly.
There's a good shot.
You got to be flat or hyzer going into those greens. It does not react well with any anhyzer, that's for sure. So Scott going to be taking his first bogey of the round.
Not an easy upshot from there.
Yeah, very good touch there for sure. And look at Eagle.
Oh, my.
You start to see that flag blowing. It looks like business decision. And oh my goodness, look at the flag.
Yeah, yeah.
And I like the line. AB, that's a good putt. That's surprised that it didn't drop. That much tailwind, that should have taken a little bit of drop, but it did not. Kevin just putting it right on that spot. What a birdie. And now he has got a 2-shot lead just like that. 5 under now through 8 holes. And just like that, it feels like if Scott doesn't do something remarkable, he's seemingly out of the competition. 7 back with a couple of rounds to go, anything
Sure.
could happen. But with essentially a round and a half remaining. He's got to do something if he wants to be in contention.
Yeah, you really can't take 9 holes off out here. You know, you don't have that much time. And he's kind of on one of those really slow starts right now, as we've been talking about. Wind is going to be a problem, I think, on these next couple holes, as these are some of the most exposed on the course.
And this should just be a par fest. I mean, any sort of headwind on this hole just doesn't give you any opportunity to really get that aggressive. I can't imagine anyone playing for the green right now.
Yeah, I think pre-injury Eagle, I could see making the forehand look annoyingly doable. But I don't think he's going to throw anything like that for a while, as he really needs to focus on keeping himself healthy.
And this man obviously has the power to get there easily, but you just don't need to be forcing any unnecessary bogeys. And more than likely, a good forehand brings that OB into play, and just that's fine. For hole 9, par is just fine.
Oh, that sits down just fine. Okay. A little bit longer approach.
You don't really want a long approach on this hole either, though. Those palms are pretty grabby. Looks like pretty decent angle control.
Sit.
Yeah.
It's a tight green.
Yeah,
Oh,
out
that's
the
OB.
The back side of that comes up really, really fast.
Oh, and just like that, Scott is in heaps of trouble.
Ooh, great bid.
Yeah.
Let's see if Eagle gives it a run. I think he'll probably give it
Oh,
some kind of effort.
Shrug at it. It's all you can really do sometimes. Did not react the way he expected, but it looks to be fine. Should have the short putt.
this is actually pretty close here from AB. Oh, sit down.
Good line.
Give me some stats, Jerm. I
Well,
feel like...
There's a surprising number of 2s.
How many?
12.
Wow, and I believe there were none in round 1.
Yes, there. I don't.
Oh,
that's gonna
no,
be a
Scott.
double, but that's. I mean, with that flag blowing that way, this is no.
Yeah,
gimme.
this
Oh
is
my gosh,
very difficult putt.
this could be a disastrous triple if he doesn't make this putt. Oh my gosh. And it's
Did that
still
stay
no
in
gimme.
bounds?
Oh my gosh, that almost went out of bounds.
Oh, just the heartbreak. I mean, that's just awful. On a hole that he's playing for the 3.
Yeah.
He's not even getting aggressive.
Not at all.
And just paying the price in all sorts of ways.
I would get your little extra there, bud.
Get your meter.
No meter, no relief off this line.
And boy, that's close to being a quad. Wow. I feel like I got to give a quick shout out to Eric, who's the only person I see that was parked. He was 5 feet away for his birdie, and that's pretty amazing to find
Whoa.
the confidence to try to play something into this green as protected as it is.
Kevin Jones, certainly the guy out here setting the pace.
Your current leader, 2 over not Anthony Barela, but over Paul Macbeth, over Garrett Gurthie, over Anthony Barela, Drew Gibson, 3 back. He's done with his round now, but he'll have a say in this unless these guys go really low in the back 9. He's
Right.
put himself into contention.
Then you've glossed over a man who's just 1 behind, one Calvin Heimberg.
Calvin Heimberg making a big push. We expected to see him up there at some point, and he is going to be in the mix if he puts together a solid back 9 as well.
I do believe I said watch out for that guy yesterday.
Well,
I remember this.
he's consistently good. So
Yeah, they call him the sure thing, if you saw our intro.
we'll be back. 9 more holes here at the Millennium course, Henderson, Nevada. Nevada. Said it right. Nevada.